Hello my beautiful souls, welcome back to another video. Welcome to my channel, and today I want to just discuss a little bit about P Diddy's indictment. It happened last night sometime, and I heard about it this morning when I woke up. And I'm usually not the news person type of person. I don't really watch a lot of news, but I did listen and watch about the indictments that he's been charged with, and it's very, very unfortunate. And this can teach us a lesson, a real lesson about living in integrity. So P Diddy, he had the key to the city. Diddy runs the city. And I live in New York City, so I'm very familiar with P Diddy. Listened to his music when I was younger, just was introduced to him, really enjoyed his shows and all those things. And of course, over time, my taste in music changed. And I started listening to lyrics more and things like that, so I kind of moved away from a lot of music. But I grew up listening to Diddy. But the lesson here in all of this is about living in integrity. Diddy lived a double life. He had one persona for the public and another persona in private. And it makes me think about people, specifically guys that I've known, especially in the past few years, that I've come across that kind of had the same, not to say that they did anything as bad as Diddy, but they had one persona for the public and another persona in private. And I had to remove myself from those people when I found out that, hey, you don't live in integrity. You don't live in integrity. One thing I always tell my children is that you need to be the same person in public that you are in private, because everything comes to light. What's done in the dark will come to the light. That is guaranteed. I truly, truly believe that. Because when you live a double life, or when you don't live in integrity, it's going to be exposed. Somebody's going to expose you. In P Diddy's case, I don't know if you followed this, I don't know if I'm bringing this to you for the first time. Maybe you're like me, you don't really watch the news, but I was interested in some aspects of this case because, like I said, I grew up listening to P Diddy when he was Puff Daddy. He changed his name so many times. But it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But everything done in the dark is going to come to the light eventually. Everything will be exposed, because what happens is, when you start living a double life, or when you live something in private, that's why people with private addictions, right? It comes to light. Eventually, it's going to take over their life. No matter how much they think is done in private, nobody will know. It may start out in private, but eventually that addiction is going to come, is going to overtake their lives. And it's going to come out into the forefront where they're going to need rehab, or it's going to destroy their families, whatever. It's going to come to the surface. It's going to come to light. It's going to be exposed. Because darkness is always exposed by the light. And if it hadn't been for the person he was dating back then, Cassie, she was the catalyst to the exposure. She filed that lawsuit years after they broke up. You know why I think she filed that lawsuit? Because he thought he got away with what he did. When he got an award, he was up there dedicating the award to Cassie. And after he knew all the nasty, terrible things that he did to her, he had the audacity to disrespect her and her new husband. by calling her name and, you know, saying that he loved her, like she was the love of his life and all. Like, you don't do that when you're in a new relationship with somebody. Why would you say that? Just to disrespect her and her new husband and her family. But everything done in the dark is gonna come to light. That's why it's so important to live in the light as much as possible. Live in the light as much as possible. Because if you are not living in integrity, and living in the light means living in integrity, being who you are that you say you are, not being something to some people and then behind closed doors doing other things, having this secret life, the secrets, the lies, the debauchery. You know, and if you're into that kind of stuff, you know, there's a lot of people that's into those kind of things. People live secret lives. They live these secret lives. And that is what the devil holds on to. When you have these secret lives and you living in shame and guilt, and I don't know how much shame and guilt he had around his life. I really don't. But I think his problem was, P Diddy's problem was the power, the fame, the fortune. He felt like he can control people, the money. So I don't know how much guilt he had around his secret life or how secret it was, but he was not living in integrity because he hid that part of himself from the public eye. The part we saw of Diddy was the dancing, you know, the raps, the groups, the musical groups, him doing marathons. We saw a whole different side of Diddy. We didn't see the dark, the debaucherous side. The side that he hid from people because he knew that we would no longer want to support him if we knew who he really was. He hid that side. But everything hidden will come to the light, to the surface. Everything done in the dark will be exposed by the light. So my beautiful souls, I just want to let you know that if there's certain aspects of yourself and you feel that you're not living in integrity, work on yourself. Work on that. Don't let anybody have the ability to say about you that you did this or you did that. Remove yourself from anything that you know is not serving your highest good. Is not allowing you to live in that higher frequency. I had to do that. I had to do that. I had friends that I knew were not living in integrity. And I had to make a decision to walk away. Because I don't want to be wrapped up in anybody's life. And I used to convince myself, I was like, oh, well, you know, that's their life. Whatever they do in their life, that's on them. But it'd be different if I didn't know about it. You know, I knew the public persona and the private persona. So that put me in a position to say, do I want to continue to deal with these people? Or should I remove myself? I know this person pretends to be a certain way in public. But in private, they do other things. They're a whole nother person. And one time I witnessed, you know, one of these people doing something that just hurt my spirit. And it was that day. I mean, I had had this conversation with myself, you know, many times, because I felt like by me hanging out with somebody that doesn't live in integrity, that is messing with my integrity, right? Whether it's their life or not. I know this person, and you know, I had to make some decisions. And one day I witnessed this person doing something. He did something to somebody. And it hurt my spirit. He didn't do it to me, but it hurt my spirit. It hurt my heart. And it was that day that I said, it was like God showed me, this is not a good person. This is not a good person. And I'm sure we all know people like that. They're just not good for you. Even if they're not doing anything to you, you see what they're doing. You see who they really are. They're a wolf in sheep's clothing. And you've seen the wolf and you've seen the sheep. You know both sides. So you have to make that decision if that's something that you want to continue to do. But I'm here to tell you, break those relationships. Break free of those. Because little do you know, it's stifling your energy. It's bringing negative vibrations onto you without you probably even realizing it. When you associate with certain people, you become that. Association brings on assimilation. You may say, no, I don't do it, I don't do that. You shouldn't be associating with wolves if you know you're not a wolf. Don't associate with people who are not living in integrity. Unless even if you're telling them, and I've told these people, you know, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, but you don't want to be preaching to people. People don't want to hear that, you know? And this particular person, I've mentioned, you know, maybe you shouldn't be doing such and such. Maybe you should not do that. But they didn't want to listen. So who am I to keep preaching to somebody? But at the same time, I also have to be mindful of who I allow into my space. And so I decided, and I had to really do some soul searching and say, you know what? This relationship is not worth me compromising my integrity to be around somebody who doesn't value integrity. And that's what P Diddy reminds me of. A person who does not value integrity. He thinks he can fool the masses. He thinks he can fool, and he did. He did. He fooled the masses because most people are asleep anyway. He fooled us for a very long time, for years. He pretended to be somebody who he wasn't, but deep down inside, he's a dark, sadistic, debaucherous man. Evil. But he pretended like, hey, I'm just Diddy dancing, you know? But anyway, hopefully this message resonated with you. If you got something out of it, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. Share this video, and let's not be like P Diddy. You know, I feel for his children. I really do. The poor twins that he has, they have no mother now. Their father is going to be in jail. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to come that's going to unfold with this. But let's live in integrity, my beautiful souls. Let's live in integrity so that we can have peace. Because when you live in integrity, it comes with peace. You know who you are. You know what you engage in. Nobody can say a word about you because you're true blue. You don't have any dark, deep, dark, sadistic secrets that you're living a double life with. You don't need that because you live in the light. All right, my friends, I love you. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace.